Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hope Pedraza, and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome. Hey y'all, welcome back to the show. I'm coming on today to talk about a super sexy topic. Your body's drainage system. Does that not sound exciting or what? Okay, I know this sounds like a really not glamorous topic. And I mean, let's be honest, it's really not. I mean, who really wants to talk about drainage? But the fact is that it really is an important topic when we're talking about your detox journey. So I know detox is kind of a trendy word, and the word cleanse is kind of trendy. But really, it's important to know how to go about it the right way. And the reason that so many times it doesn't work is that people don't go about it the right way. And so that's why I really want to talk about this from your body's like drainage pathways perspective, just so we can talk about how to do it the right way so you can really get the most out of it and that you can really start to heal your body. Because here's the thing, I hear this from a lot of people. They've done the cleanse, they've done the detox, they've done the diet, and it doesn't work. That's what they tell me. I've done all these things, it doesn't work. And so they just, throw in the towel because it's like, well, I tried, it didn't work. Well, it's probably because you haven't addressed, first of all, it's because you haven't addressed the root of the problem. And second of all, it's because you haven't gone about this healing process from this perspective of looking at your body's drainage system, because it's like you're, trying to pour stuff down your garbage disposal when your garbage disposal is clogged. Like it's just going to keep clogging up. It's got nowhere to go. So when you try to do these, these detoxes or these cleanses or whatever, a lot of times actually it can make you feel worse than before, because these toxins that you're trying to get rid of have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to be eliminated. It's just like this trash pile up with nowhere for it to go. So without looking at this detox, this cleanse from the perspective of your drainage systems in your body, that's really what you're going to have problems. Things are going to back up. So I wanted you to picture it this way. You can kind of picture with me in your head, like a funnel, right? It's big at the top, it's little at the bottom. And I want to go through this funnel and kind of explain what this drainage funnel looks like, because each piece kind of builds on itself. And when there's a problem at the top of the funnel, you have to move down the funnel to figure out where the problem has started. So if we start at the bottom of the bottom of the funnel is your colon. This is the bottom of the funnel. It's your colon. So all the things above the funnel are affecting what's going on in your colon. Okay. Above that is your liver and your bile ducts. These are like your detox organs. These are things like your kidneys, your skin, your lungs, your bile ducts. These are the things that affect what goes on in your colon, right? Above that is your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is directly related to your immune system. And so again, looking at that affecting your liver, your bile ducts, your colon. Above the lymphatic system is your organs and your tissues. So herein lies many of the problems that we deal with, especially with our kind of conventional medicine way of looking at things. We look at what's going on in the organs and the tissues of the body, and we address it from that perspective. Instead of let's look further down the funnel. In order to really figure out what's going on in your organs and your tissues, you've got to look at your lymphatic system. We have to look at your liver and your bile ducts, all of your detox organs, your drainage pathway. We have to look at your colon, right? You can't just look at it from your organs perspective. And at the very top of the funnel are your cells. Your cells are at the top. So when things are affecting you at a cellular level, you have to dive deeper into that issue to see where the problems are. It didn't start at a cellular level. It's just affecting you at a cellular level. So I'm going to go through each of these pieces of the little drainage funnel, kind of talk about each one. So at the very bottom is the colon, right? That's what I said. The colon is the very bottom of the funnel. So when your colon is backed up, everything upstream in that funnel is going to be backed but well. And this can happen when you're constipated, right? Everything else is backed up. You feel gross. You're not efficiently removing the waste and the toxins that your body needs to really clean yourself out. And so trying to like go through a detox process or a cleanse without first supporting this particular pathway of your colon is a huge mistake. And this is really where things can get worse instead of better. Because, and here's the thing too with constipation, you can still poop every day and be constipated. Just because you're pooping every day doesn't mean you're not constipated. And I think that's important to know too, because you might think you're regular because you poop every day, but you really aren't, because you're not properly eliminating and you're not eliminating all the way. You're not cleaning everything out. So honestly, ideal digestion, you would poop after every meal. Each meal you would poop. So really it's 2 or 3 times a day minimum is going to be ideal. And that's going to be like being quote unquote regular, right? If you're not, or if you are, and it's like super watery, it's not like normal consistency, there's some issues going on. There's some malabsorption, malnutrition stuff going on. So there's lots of ways, and this is a topic for another day. We won't talk about this episode, but there's a lot of ways really to support regular elimination and regular bowel movements. There's lots of herbs you can take, of course, fiber and hydration, water, physical activity, keeping your body moving. All of those are going to help with flow, but a lot of times it's going to require addressing some other things going on in your gut or your liver, your bile ducts, to make for proper elimination. So let's move up the funnel and talk about your liver and your bile ducts. So just above your colon in that funnel is your liver and your bile ducts. Now, the liver is like where you collect, as an analogy here, where you would collect wastewater, right? And you would separate the water from the waste, where your body kind of separates the good and the bad stuff, right? So that the water can be cleaned again and kind of sent back into circulation, right? So this is what filters the toxins from your body, from your blood, and then processes them so you can eliminate them. And then they're deposited in your bile and then you poop it out. So when your bile ducts are blocked or clogged, or just, there's some congestion there, it's going to build up toxins. It's going to build up bile acids. And it's really going to, there's potential for damage to the organs itself. And then this is what breeds sickness, right? This is what's going to lead to overall inflammation in the body, to chronic illness. It's going to cause, it can cause things like thyroid issues and hormonal issues, because your body's not eliminated those excess hormones like it should be. This is what can lead to things like parasites, pathogens, right? All of these things can obstruct your bile ducts. It just kind of festers like pathogenic stuff, right? It can cause a buildup of bacteria. It can cause a buildup of toxins, just overall toxins that can trigger, a lot of things to go wrong in the body. And really, your liver is what processes, any medications, supplements, antibiotics, antidepressants, whatever. And so when your body's not processing these out and it's not getting rid of like the waste part of those, it can cause a really toxic build. It's just like a toxic load that's stuck in your body. And again, with the excess estrogen, right? So especially if you are or have ever taken hormonal birth control or IUDs, hormonal replacement therapy, this increases your risk of gallstones, because it's just causing this toxic stuff to build up in your body because your bile ducts are blocked. So it's really important to look at how your liver and your bile ducts are draining. And here's the thing to look at when we're looking at that part of the funnel. We want to make sure we're supporting the liver and the kidneys, really the liver, the kidneys, and the gallbladder, all of your detox organs. There's a lot of herbs that can really enhance function of the liver and the kidneys. Zinc is a great mineral that can help support liver detoxification and can protect your liver from oxidative stress, like from stress to the cells in your liver. There's a lot of minerals that we can take, and minerals like selenium and magnesium, which can also help support detoxification. And then there's some other things we can do, which I'll kind of get to this in a little later. I'll talk about a liver detox, but there's also some things you can do to kind of help the detox process, things that can encourage like bile flow. You want to encourage as much bile flow as possible. So things like salt flushes and coffee enemas, those are going to be things that really help with the bile flow. That like the supplement tuca is another one. It's one it's a natural bile acid, but it's taking it kind of helps thin out the bile, so it keeps the bile flowing. All of those are going to help kind of unclog the pathways. So above that in the funnel, moving along the funnel here, is your lymphatic system. So your lymphatic system, I think, is really overlooked. I think it's like, honestly, I think it's one of the most highly overlooked parts of your detox system, of your detoxification system. But the lymphatic system includes this huge network of vessels that drains fluids from your body tissues. And this is where, again, like I mentioned before, this is kind of where your immune system lives. So one of your lymphatic system's jobs is to collect the fluid from your tissues and return it to your blood. But your lymph nodes have to filter out any potential bad stuff, right? Like pathogens, bacteria, or toxins, so that your immune cells can deal with them. So this is where it becomes a problem when it's overrun with pathogens and bacteria and toxins. Your immune cells can't handle it all. It's like toxic overload, right? And then two, if your lymph doesn't flow as much as it needs to, it just, everything kind of gets stuck. We want to encourage as much lymphatic flow as possible. So it has no pump, right? There's no pump that keeps it going. Like for example, your cardiovascular system, like your heart, right? That's constantly pumping blood in and out. Your lymphatic system doesn't do that. There's no pump. There's no muscles contracting, like causing that to happen. So this can lead to really poor lymphatic movement. And this is when the problems start to happen. So first things first, when we're talking about lymphatic flow, your lymph doesn't move unless you move. So movement is first and foremost. Moving your body is first and foremost to keep that the lymph flowing. So because if you don't, it can cause things like tissue swelling. If you've ever had like fluid buildup, like edema, this is kind of what lymph stagnation is like. It just kind of stays there. It can be linked to things like increased cellulite. Now, I'm not saying this is the cause of cellulite. Everybody has cellulite. It's totally natural. But some of us are just more dimply than others, and sluggish lymph movement really can be linked to increased cellulite. It has nowhere to go. The lymph kind of gets stuck in the fat tissue. Some other things, it can cause immune issues. It can cause just chronic fatigue. You just feel kind of sluggish and fatigued because your lymph is sluggish and fatigued. It's not moving anywhere. It's not going anywhere, right? And it really can affect your immune system. So there's a lot of ways you can support this part of the funnel, this lymphatic part of the funnel. There's a lot of herbs that can promote lymphatic flow, but really and truly, the most important thing, really, I think, is movement. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like you just go for a walk. Again, there's no pump that's making your lymph flow. Like you have to move to make it move. Things like rebounding. Rebounding is a really great way to get the lymph flowing, really great for your lymphatic system. The other thing that I really like is massaging and like fascia work. So like a manual massage, right? Like you go to get a massage. You can also do things like self-massage with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. Things that really get into that fascia, that deep tissue, that connective tissue is going to help move things out of the way and block things that might be blocking the flow of lymph. Another thing you can do is dry brushing. Dry brushing is kind of this self-massage techniques that helps you move lymph. It's a really easy way. It's kind of an Ayurvedic thing. So it's an Eastern medicine thing that is said to help move lymph. You can buy a dry brush on Amazon for like $10. Like they're super easy, super cheap to get, super easy to use. Something you can do, literally takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes before you jump in the shower each day. Such an easy thing to do. Another thing you can do for your lymphatic system is an infrared sauna. So your infrared sauna kind of warms up your lymphatic fluid and it really gets it flowing better. So it's different than just sitting in like a regular sauna. It's those infrared lights that kind of gets through to your lymphatic fluid and helps things kind of move. So even just sitting in for a few minutes and then kind of building up from there is a great way to help with your lymphatic system. So moving up the funnel now, next is your organs and your tissues. So we're talking all the organs and the tissues in the body and your brain too. your brain. So your brain doesn't really have a true lymphatic system. Instead, it kind of clears waste and fluids through the glymphatic system, right? So we have to really work to keep that part of the brain, the part of the body clear. So the glymphatic system in your brain it kind of collects waste and then it delivers it to your lymphatic system for removal. So this is why it's important to keep that part too, because keeping that part kind of clogged up, your glymphatic system is like basically just collecting toxins in your brain, right? So the best way to clear this up is sleep. This is the best way to support this part of your drainage funnel. And when I say sleep, I'm talking about quality and quantity. So sleep is sleep is crucial for every aspect of the body, let's be real. But when we're talking about specifically about the glymphatic system, it's like fuel for all of the little parts that are collecting the waste, right? So when you're lacking in this part of the drainage system, you might feel things like brain fog or headaches or memory issues. All of those things, it's literally you have a foggy brain because your glymphatic system can't flush out the toxins, right? The ideal amount of sleep is 7 to 9 hours. 7 to 9 hours is ideal. And again, I'm saying quality and quantity. So if you're someone who wakes up, 2, 3 a.m., couple things here. My first instinct would be like, well, we've got some cortisol issues going on if you wake up about that same time every night. The other thing could be blood sugar issues. If your blood sugar is fluctuating a lot at night because, you've gone too long without eating, you didn't eat enough of that last meal of the day, you ate too much like sugary stuff. And so you have having some like blood sugar spikes and drops and stuff. All of that is going to affect your quality of sleep. So in order to really get the most out of this glymphatic drainage, we really want quality and quantity sleep. All right, so moving up that funnel, that last part of this drainage funnel we're talking about are your cells. So your cells have all sorts of toxins and waste that they have to get rid of too, just like every other part of the body, right? So when they're not eliminating the waste properly, it can accumulate, right? And these are, we get so many toxins from so many things, from the air that we breathe. There's pollutants in the air, heavy metals we come into contact with, pesticides, stuff in our food, hormones in food, all that kind of things. All of these can cause dysfunction of your mitochondria. Your mitochondria are like the energy sources in your cells. It's like the generator in your cell. And so when these toxins build up, it's going to affect these little energy producing parts of your cells and your mitochondria. So you really need to get rid of the toxins in your cells. Your mitochondria can generate the energy needed to support detoxification, but we have to keep them healthy, right? This is what they play a part in your immune defense and your DNA repair and your cell repair. So we really do need them working well to support your detox journey and really just to reduce risk of disease and aging and all of that. So the solution isn't really when we're looking at a detox process, it's not about like eliminating everything, like as much as possible, everything on the first day. That's really a recipe for disaster. Because again, like I said, if these drainage pathways that I just went through aren't flowing, then ramping up your detox is really going to make you feel like crap, like honestly. And I find this a lot of times when people do, they do these really serious, like, they do like a 2-week juice cleanse, which first of all is way too long of a juice cleanse, but they do like these, or like, actually, you know what? I've seen people do 30-day juice cleanses which I think is outrageous. Too long, first of all, to do that. Second of all, if you're just jumping right into it, your body's going to totally freak out. And a lot of times too, if, you're working on getting rid of things, they can just become stagnant in your body. And then you're holding on to things like heavy metals and all these toxins that have just been sitting there. You're just holding on to it. So without first supporting these drainage systems, it's really asking for disaster, right? So you really have to lay the right groundwork to start this detoxification process and heal at the cellular level. And in order to heal at the cellular level, you have to move down that drainage funnel, start at the bottom. Remember, that's where your colon was, and then move up the funnel. That's really going to be the best way to address this. So remember that we need to keep things moving. Stagnation, when things are stagnant, this is what creates toxins. This is what breeds dis-ease in the body. It breeds sickness in the body. So whether it's, constipation, a sluggish liver, a sluggish lymph, like you can't detox well in any of these. So if you're looking for the best way to kind of start the detox process, we really have to start at the very bottom of that funnel, right? And so this is where, if you follow me on social media, you've seen I've been posting about a liver detox, and that's really where this liver detox comes in. And that's why I wanted to do this liver detox, is because, I see too many people going about this, like just not the best way. And they're trying to detox, but they're still constipated. They're trying to detox and their lymph isn't flowing. They're trying to detox and they've got parasites and pathogens, and it's keeping them from really getting rid of the things they need to get rid of. So doing something like this liver detox that I'm doing for 30 days, it's kind of a slow progression to address all of these parts of the drainage system, so that we're not just starting on, this cellular level. We're getting down to the detox organs, your colon, your lymphatic system. We're addressing each part of it. And so if you're interested in learning more, I'll put a link in the show notes so you can look and see. There's a couple ways you can jump into it. And really, you can jump into it any day. So you can purchase it now. The doors will be open for a little while. And then you can start the detox anytime within the next 60 days. So even if you want to just get it, I know summers can be crazy for everybody. And so if summer is busy for you and you want to start it later, you can do it now and start later. I'm going to have the group open for the next 60 days. You can kind of jump in whenever you're ready. But I want to encourage you to, if you're looking for a way to kind of reset, detox, whatever, to really think about how you go about it, and don't just jump right into it without first addressing these parts of your body. Because this addressing the drainage really is the first step to the detox journey. It's not just about getting rid of the foods and the sugar and the alcohol, that stuff. Of course, that's a great part of detoxing the body, but you really have to support all of these areas of the drainage funnel in order for you to get the most out of your detox, out of your cleanse, and to really get the healing you're looking for. Because so often I see people who are trying to heal from autoimmune issues and gut issues, the bloating, constipation, the pain, they feel, chronic pain, inflammation in their joints. And if you're going about it just looking at from things symptomatically, that's the first problem. But you really do have to address all of those issues. All of those things start from the same way. So your Hashimoto's and your PCOS and your endometriosis, all of those things are a symptom, and they're a symptom of something going wrong in your body's drainage system. So I hope all this made sense. I hope all this gave you a little bit of insight as to what's going on in your body. Let me know if you have questions on this. I'll put some links in the show notes if you want to learn more about the liver detox and getting in on this 30-day program. And if you have deeper questions on what's going on in your body and you want some deeper work with me, I'll put a link to reach out to me so we can talk and really look at, take a deep look at what's going on in your body. I hope y'all enjoy this episode, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I'd love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I can know how to provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics you'd like to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's @TheHopePedraza, or you can visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.